It's okay. Hey, stop that. Stop it. It's far away. Hey guys, and hi from the very dodgy Chinese mafia enclave of Boten in Laos, right up in the north of Laos on the border of China. And I've come here to see if we can find any traces of human trafficking, drug trafficking, or any scam call center activity. So let's take a look at it and see what we can find. In 2003, Boten was set up as a special economic zone in the far north of Laos, next to China. But casinos and Chinese mafia operations soon proliferated, and by 2011 the Chinese government got involved and banned all that kind of activity, and it went pretty quiet for a while. But nowadays it's got quite a bit of nightlife, and plans are afoot to try to rejuvenate the place and expand it to make it into a kind of, probably, I guess you would say, the fourth city of Laos, and seems to be currently growing again and developing. So it's said that all the really terrible stuff was eliminated from this place back in 2011, but is that really true? So we're just walking through a nightlife area at the moment, which is just off the main street that heads to the border. This is about 200 meters before you cross the border into China, and it's very popular with Chinese people who cross the border to have a bit of fun from the south of China and have a bit of a weekend or a bit of a holiday break. So we'll head down this little street. Everywhere around Boten you can see things in Chinese writing as well as in Lao writing. Not a lot of English is spoken. Seems like most people speak a fair bit of Chinese, and there are a lot of restaurants and bars, massage parlors and so on, as well as other kinds of, shall we say, entertainment that you can kind of guess at from having a bit of a look around here. So this place is pretty much off the radar of people who are not Chinese. Let's put it this way. This street here is actually the main road leading up to the border. So I actually wasn't sure what to expect myself before I came here. So I had a bit of a chat with some of the locals to ask about what goes on around this town. So yeah, no more casinos. The Chinese government has done a great job on that, putting pressure on their own citizens who were running those kind of businesses. Some good food as well, by the way, and put a bit of pressure on the Laos authorities. And so in the end what happened was they changed the status of the place from being a special economic zone to a different status. It's still a kind of a special zone, but they don't term it as a special economic zone. So which means that the Laos government has a bit more authority in this area, but it actually has its own police or security force separate from the country of Laos, which is pretty interesting, you could say, to put it mildly. But okay, so you see they've got a different kind of economy these days. It's a big hotel in front of us up there. It's a pretty nice one, actually. there are some actually really nice things in this town. It does have a certain level of development, but there are a lot of ghost towers as well, a lot of empty buildings that have not been finished, although you can see signs of some of them getting a bit of work done on them currently to finish them off, because it does seem like the tide has changed for this town. So it looks like it's on the upswing again. So for a number of years, like nothing was happening. It kind of died off for a bit. But anyway, it's all coming back to life now in this place. So I would predict that it will become the 4th city of Laos and probably surpass like a couple of the other ones and become more than that as well. So anyway, like I was saying, I have talked to some of the locals about what things do still happen around here. And okay, no more casinos. That's all gone. That's definitely finished, and that's a good thing. But as far as scam call centers go, do they have scam call centers? Well, officially not. Apparently that stuff's been eradicated, so then should be safe, right? But I was told local people think there are still some of those kinds of places very well hidden, kept very, very secret. Smaller ones, I would say, but yeah, so that's what local people think anyway. That's what I've been told. This is the main street of Boten, and we'll have a little stroll down. You see, in the evening, it's actually quite cool in the nighttime, but in the daytime it's scorching hot here. It's very quiet in the daytime. Nothing seems to be happening much in the daytime. There are a few cafes, a bunch of restaurants open in the afternoon, but it's not really very nice to walk around in the daytime. And basically I haven't seen any other Europeans in the town at all. But it all comes alive after dark. So you see people like to hang around out here on the main street. It's mostly all Chinese, pretty much, but you see a lot of girls hanging around. What are they doing? Where are they from? Well, they're from this country, from the small villages, and they get all dolled up out here, hoping to meet a friendly Chinese fellow who might take a shine to them and maybe improve their lifestyle a little bit somehow. Yeah, so of course in Laos there's still a lot of poverty, and this is a kind of an economic zone after all, right? So you can see a lot of flashing lights. Most of the people from Laos who are in this place are females. So seems to be a lot of activity, a lot of employment for them here. And it's kind of strange to me that it's really off the radar of Westerners, so to speak. When I look online, there are things like, say, on Wikipedia or WikiTravel or other travel websites that suggest avoiding this place, that it's too dangerous. Doesn't really feel like that. This is the main market here. There's actually a lot of really good food here, mostly Chinese food, I must say. It's an interesting mix of cultures here, Chinese and Lao culture. Same with the food. In the market here, it's pretty much all Chinese food, hot pot and so on, barbecue and stuff like that. But around the side streets of this unfinished town, you find some small stalls selling Lao food, and everything's very reasonably priced. But in front of us, for example, you see a ghost tower here. You see some buildings with no lights, they're not finished. Let's take a little left off the main street here and have a look at the other side of the street, opposite the main entertainment area that we just started out in. And this side of the town is pretty much finished as far as construction and development goes. Although there are a few buildings over here as well that haven't been finished. Hot stomach, eh? Eating that hot pot. Need to cool down a bit. As you see, groups of girls hanging around everywhere, right? Yeah. It's a bit of a surprise for me. I didn't expect that it would be like this. It's basically, I mean, back in, say, the year 2003, this was just rice fields with hill tribe people. And now it's on its way to becoming a major city of Laos, but at the moment it's still a wild frontier town. Very dodgy place. At least that's what you'd read on the internet. I guess it is, but yeah, if you could run into the wrong people here easily enough, put it that way. And as far as like mafia or criminal types, yeah, I'm sure there are plenty around. Who do you think's organizing all that nightlife stuff? Well, from what I've heard, it's all run by Chinese. That's what I've heard. I'm not saying it's definitely true, but I'm just saying that's what I've heard. So, run by Chinese, that's what I've heard. A lot of these shops are run, most of the shops are run by Chinese. They've got a pretty good deal that they can cross over from China and set up businesses here. I've got nothing against the Chinese, of course. I actually really respect Chinese culture, and I usually really like Chinese people. I think they've got good family values and so on for the most part. But this is what it is. It's like set up for entertainment at the moment, at least, right? So you can see there's a bit of entertainment on this street as well. So this is actually right in the center of the main part of the most developed part of the town, where you find restaurants, hairdressers, cafes, stuff like that. And there's still a lot of the nightlife activity. So yeah, we try to keep a certain distance from the nightlife places, so you cannot actually identify people who they really are, but just that we'll get close enough that you can see what's going on, and you can kind of judge for yourself about what kind of people are around and so on, and you know, this kind of thing. Anyway, it's pretty lively. I think you can make it out for yourself well enough. Okay, now we're actually near the edge of the town. This is actually the last street of the town along one side of it. And like I said, we'll keep a certain distance, right? Just out of respect, as much as we can, for the people who have to make a living here. But you can definitely see enough to get a pretty good idea about the place. So I've seen nothing like this in Laos before. It's okay. Okay, it's okay. Hey, stop that. Stop it. It's far away. It's far away. So a little bit of a hassle there. As you could see, we were not too close to anyone, but we had one of these Chinese owners coming to give a bit of a hassle. Anyway, you couldn't make out who people were, so that's a bit over the top, isn't it? Right, so it goes a little further along, just up there, and then you come to the end of it. I think I'll head down this way though, because getting a bit of a hassle from those people. Okay guys, well, back in the hotel you saw what happened out there, and with the gangster mentality there. So I took evasive action there, and everything's cool basically. But yeah, you saw I was very careful, trying my best to not show anyone close up. I had the light, the screen on the front of the camera on, so it lights it up so people could see that I'm coming from a fair distance away, and they could avoid me if they wanted to or not, up to them. But I didn't go too close to the shop frontages. Tried not to focus on them too much. You do what you can, right? So there's always one though, isn't there? You know what I mean? So the little wannabe gangster guy tried to actually grab at my camera at one point, and I slapped his hand down very fast. It kind of surprised him and actually made him think again. So in the end, he and his female helper from his place of business were on their phones. She said she's calling the police. They're kind of, like I said, weird kind of special security police here, not the same like the rest of the country. They have their own powers. So I don't know, I don't want to get involved with them. I don't know what the rules are in this place. Obviously there's some stuff that I'd rather keep quiet, you know, for Chinese only type thing maybe. So anyway, the guy I think was probably calling his buddies, yeah, dodgy kind of people, to come over there and sort me out or something. But no problem, you know. Sole par for the course. Anyway, you know, I'm on a mission here on Secret of the Way, and got to take a few chances sometimes for you guys, because I want to show everybody what's going on with these kinds of things in the world. So you can see it's a very colorful and interesting place. So that's what it is, right? So let's have a look and see what 300,000 kip gets you. That's about 20 American dollars. It's a tidy enough hotel room here. Quite nice. With a really great view of this kind of little enterprise here that they've got going. And China just over there. All right. Hello, China. So a lot of new construction happening and old stuff being finished off, stuff that wasn't touched for a long time, that was abandoned. So they're getting back into fixing things up. So trucks ready to cross the border. Eventually Boten's gonna get there. So this is actually how Boten is envisioned as being at some point. And will it end up being like this? I'm sure it will one day, maybe not exactly like this, but you can see the skyline quite well now as you come through the border, crossing from China. That's where I'm standing right now. And you can see a lot of unfinished buildings. Okay guys, so we're at the land border crossing where you can walk across into China right here, and hope you guys enjoyed the nightlife walk around Boten. And if you haven't already, subscribe, like, and drop us a comment. We'd love to hear what you guys have to say. And it sounds like some fireworks going off in the background there. Yay! All right, see you guys in the next one, and don't be late.